There we go. Look at that. It's crazy. I mean, the kind of colour grading, colour correction that you can do, even as a beginner, is just so mad. Like, take this image, just take these two images, for example. It's so much more moody and dramatic. Hey guys, welcome back to a new video on the channel. Today I'm going to show you the basics of colour grading and colour correction within a Premiere Pro. Now, colour correction and colour grading can take your videos to the next level, and the most important part is it's absolutely free. You don't have to buy any expensive cameras, you don't have to spend expensive lenses, any expensive filters for your lenses, all of that stuff out the window when colour grading and colour correcting. So this step, or these tips that I'm going to give you, can really take your videos to the next level. Now I want to ask you something. When you watch a film, depending on what kind of film it is, what kind of consistent things do you see depending on what drama it is? So for instance, if it's a romance, you see more warmy, orange, happy colours. When it's a more murder mystery, horror, you see more bluey, desaturated colours. That's because colour plays a big part within the film. So I'm going to show you some practical tips on how to colour grade and colour grade and colour correct within Premiere Pro. So let's jump straight over to Premiere Pro and I'll show you how to colour grade and colour correct. So the first thing you want to do is identify what kind of feeling or emotion do you want to invoke when colour grading and correcting this clip, because depending on that answer, it's going to alter how you colour grade and correct. So my first tip is, what kind of mood do you want to get across to your audience? Because depending on that answer, that will change what kind of colours you go with when you colour correcting and colour grading your image. Identify what kind of feeling or mood you want to invoke, and then that will change the final outcome of your image. So for me, this is a grime video, and grime videos are more all about gangster, kind of giving it all that. And as you can see here from my good friend AJ, he's performing, and what we're going to do to take this clip to the next level, what we want to do is go over to colour on here, and then it opens up this big fancy menu. So we're just going to stick to the basic correction for now. So the first thing that I want you to look at is the temperature. The temperature is related to the other point that I just made of what kind of feeling do you want to evoke. So for us colour grading this, we want a more bluey, desaturated kind of thing, because that's what grime videos are. So we're just going to drag this slider to the left. Now depending on how far you go, it'll invoke more of a powerful message. So I kind of want it about halfway maybe, because I think obviously to the left is far too much. So about maybe halfway, so we're going to type in the value -50 to see how that looks. That's better. Now if we click this little effects button in the top right hand corner, you can see how much of a difference that has made already. Like, it's just crazy how much colour grading and colour correcting can do to your image. So if we go back to that, we have our first foot in the door of the kind of temperature that we want our clip to have. So that's my first tip. Mess with the temperature and understand what kind of feeling or mood you want to invoke to your audience. So my second one is a bit further down, the tones. Now we're going to be messing around with all of these little sliders here. So depending on the exposure, if it's a more moody scene, you want the exposure to be a little bit down to invoke that like moody feeling. I don't know how else to put it, but for us, we're gonna bring it down just a tad to about there, 0.5. Contrast, I don't really mess with contrast, you can just leave it at 0, God. Just leave it at 0. Highlights, we want to, again, this goes back to the previous kind of mood, we're going to drain out most of the highlights to probably about, yeah, halfway again. Shadows, bring it down moody, there we go. Whites, bring it just a tad down. Blacks, don't want it too dark, so probably about 15, there we go. And just look at that effect, that's just crazy. This is the basics. Imagine what you can do when you get proper good at this. So as you can probably tell, I love colour grading and colour correct. It's so therapeutic and calming, so just look at that. It's crazy how much of a mood the colour grading and colour correcting can give you. So that's my second tip. Mess around with these sliders and understand from the get-go what kind of mood you want to give to your audience, because that is going to show the audience. It's going to have a completely different message if you were to go with a more happier tone, with a more warmer, happier tone, you know, give it in all this. It doesn't really fit the message and the theme of the video, because Video editing is all about story, and colour correcting adds to that story, so make sure you're in line with the kind of story and theme that you want your video to be going with. And now my third tip is with the filters. So we come down, if we close our basic correction, we come down to creative, we can click these look, and now these are presets that Adobe have given us. We can import our own and Luts and stuff like that, so that's a bit advanced. So we're going to stick to the basics. The one that I like to use is Fuji 3510, and that's going to give us that kind of cinematic feeling. So if we bring down the intensity, we can bring the intensity of it down, but if we, like that's just unrealistic. So we bring it down to probably about maybe 30 to 40, and if we uncheck the little boxes here on the right, we can turn off the filter and just look at that. That adds so much more depth to our image already. So probably about leave it 45. Again, you can mess around with different kind of ones, like just mess around with the ones you like, but my personal favourite is Fuji 3510, and it gives that more that cinematic feeling when editing and colour grading, colour correcting your videos. And one more tip for any kind of video that you're shooting when colour grading, colour correcting is the black bars. Now I think the black bars really adds to the colour correction, colour grading to your image. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over to effects, and we're going to look up the effects crop. And what crop's going to do is obviously crop the image. So drag it onto your clip, and then over here click on the clip, come over to the left and go down to crop. What we're going to do, I like to have it about 10%, because anything between 10% and upwards, like say 15, kind of chops out a good portion of the image. So I would say about 8 to 10 is a good fit, depending on what kind of video you're doing. So 8, there we go, look at that, it's crazy. I mean, the kind of colour grading, colour correction that you can do, even as a beginner, is just so mad. Like, take this image, just take these two images, for example, it's so much more moody and dramatic. Like, this is a grind video, as I said, and grind videos are really moody and giving it all this and intense. This is reflected in the colour grading and colour correction. So to wrap up this video, colour grading and colour correction, understand what kind of mood you want to get across to your audience when they watch your video, and that will determine what kind of temperature you select, whether you go left or right, blue or orange. And then you're going to mess around with the tones. The exposure is another big one. If you want to have it more moody, move it down to the left a little bit, but not too much. You don't want to have it underexposed or overexposed. And if it's a romance, a rom-com, a comedy, whatever it might be, move the exposure just a little bit up, and it's going to bring those colours out even more. But obviously don't make it so it's overexposed. And then the Fuji Luts filters. Obviously mess around with what kind of one that suits what kind of video you're shooting, but obviously I like to go with the Fuji one. That's up to you. Mess around with all of the filters and what kind of filter you want to go with. That'll enhance your video. Black bars can really add to your image when making a music video, a YouTube video, whatever kind of video it is. Add black bars if you're going to colour grade and colour, because it really adds to that. And especially if it's like a promotional cinematic movie or music video, a promotional video, corporate video, a product video, whatever it is, black bars really add to your image. So thanks for watching, guys. If you learned something today, even if it just helped you or put you in a good mood, please leave a comment, subscribe to the channel and like the video. And if you want to learn more on Adobe Premiere Pro 2021, I've created a playlist up here just for you that's going to go over different aspects within Premiere Pro. So I hope you like this video. Click that link up there if you want to learn more about the different kind of features within Premiere Pro. Or maybe you're just a beginner, you're like, I don't understand these colour correction, colour grading, I don't know what it is. That video, the first video I ever made, goes over all of the basics, the stuff that you need to know in order to export your first video within Premiere Pro. So thanks for watching, guys. Follow me on Instagram for some quick tips, and I'll see you on the next video.